Sa totoo lang, hirap rin kami dito sa itaas because of the so many places scattered around at malalayo, island for island, at pati yung pera. Ang pera nandiyan na, kahapon nag 1 billion, pupunta dito yan sa mga local officials, mga mayor, tapos sila na ang kayo ang magkakilala eh. Sila na yung magbigay ng mga pera. Sabi ko kanina, kung habulin ang tulong, paski na ngayong Pasko, magtatrabaho pa rin ako at marami akong pupuntahan yung mga lugar na gutom yung tao, may sakit na at hindi nakakain yung sa mga maliliit na sityo dyan sa bukid. Ang galing sa kalisod ng nato daghan na po kaya yun. Wala ko magbinuwa nga. Simple na dapat mga anak ninyo usado ha. Kanang tulo boundary na. Boundary na. Dili bitaw limited tulo na may planning, family planning centers na rin. Ngayon mo lang ibon mo lang na. Dili na para sa laki ha, dili na paggahi. Kanang ang babae nga dili mo pero hindi mabuntis. Ayaw kayo panganak daghan pabidag. So bitaw, wata lang ninyo, gamay ug di maabot. Sige na sila, ug di maabot sa 2-3 days. By next week na pa. Muna akong bisiguro.
The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. Many passengers are still hoping to make it to their hometowns in time for Noche Buena. To tell us the situation at the Parañaque Integrated Terminal Exchange, we have Romel Lopez reporting to us on the line. Good morning and Merry Christmas in advance, Romel. How is this so-called holiday exodus going?
Yes, Merry Christmas, Charles. Thousands of passengers are expected to depart the Parañaque Integrated Terminal Exchange, or PITX, on Christmas Eve. This, as some offices imposes half-day schedule today. Queues of Christmas travelers continue to pile up here in PITX. Long lines for booking and ticketing is a normal sight here in the area as the volume of travelers continue to increase. Travelers going to South Luzon and even parts of Visayas and Mindanao are taking their chances here just to be with their loved ones this Christmas. According to the PITX management yesterday, almost 100,000 passengers departed the terminal, and some offices imposes half-day work arrangement on Christmas Eve. They're expecting the same numbers of travelers today or even more. Some passengers can help but feel frustrated as they have to wait for hours or even a day just to get a ticket. But for them, it will be all worth it because all they want is to be with their family on Christmas Day. Charles, despite the expected increase of travelers, PITX management says that they are ready for the influx. Safety health protocols are being imposed as well in the terminal to ensure the safety of the terminal of all terminal users. Charles?
Thanks for that, Romel. That was Romel Lopez reporting live from Parañaque. The military is ramping up relief operations in Odette-hit areas ahead of Christmas. Personnel from the Air Force say they're prepared to spend the holidays away from their loved ones. Marty Bautista with the story.
Though Christmas Day is fast approaching, the Philippine Air Force continues its relief operations for areas struck by Typhoon Odette. They've begun delivering relief goods to these areas since Sunday, December 19. Yesterday, the News 5 team had the chance to hitch a ride in one of the PAF's cargo planes bound for Mactan, Cebu. The NC-212I cargo plane had little room for both the media and military personnel since its main priority was to transport relief goods. Though most people take time to rest during the holidays, the Philippine military is stern on continuing operations until they have assisted every area.
We still have a long way to go. There's a lot of other relief goods that we need to deliver to the Visayas and Northern Mindanao area, and the C-130s and the C-295s and the C-21Is and the Fokkers are all being used to be able to deliver this. While in the area, we have our Black Hawks, our Bell 214s are doing it to distribute it in areas wherein it's very gonna be hard to reach.
The NC-212I cargo plane carried 16 sets of generators, 26 gallons of water, 18 rechargeable fans, 7 sacks of rice, and an additional 8 boxes of water. Flying over Cebu, we had the chance to see the extent of the typhoon's devastation. Some places are still flooded. Even the Mactan Benito Ebuen Air Base was still in disarray. Upon landing in Cebu, soldiers were quick to move and transfer the relief goods into loading trucks, which they would then use to distribute the items. The process took no longer than 2 hours. Military personnel in the Mactan base shared their experiences with us during the surge of the typhoon. The electricity had only returned just last night, but before that, Cebu had no signal and electricity, and there was no way of contacting their families. Many of the soldiers are already prepared to spend Christmas on duty.
This is really the life of a military personnel. If you're in the service, you really have to be prepared for this. We know that we will not be spending Christmas with our family. We know that we will not be spending the New Year with the family. So those are the things that we would want to miss for the Filipino people.
For the Philippine military, the best Christmas gift they could receive right now is to be able to uplift all typhoon-struck communities from their suffering.
Sunday po nag-start ang relief operations. Could you tell us when it's gonna last?
It's gonna last until we see that we have done our job for the Filipino people, for those affected by the Typhoon Odette.
As the relief goods were safely unloaded, space opened up inside the NC-212I cargo plane, enough to seat about 15 people. We took this opportunity to carry civilians who were stranded in Cebu and had been looking for a way back to Manila. The group was made up of OFWs who haven't seen their families in Manila for 2 years. They were already bound to come home, coming from Qatar, but were rerouted for quarantine to Cebu. It was there they were met by Typhoon Odette.
Dumating yung bagyo, doon na nag-start yung problema kasi doon na nawalan ng connection, ng wifi, ng mga news, anything that will connect us to the outside world, kumbaga.
Hindi lang kami yung stranded, maraming na-stranded dito. So yung iba nag-opted na lumabas na ng hotel and nag-chance passenger na dito sa airport. So almost lahat kami doon, wala talaga kaming magawa kundi take a risk po.
Our team, along with the stranded OFWs, soon arrived at the Villamor Air Base in Manila, just in time for them to be with their families for the holidays. Military relief operations are still ongoing in affected areas. For News 5, Marty Bautista. We are One News.
MVP Group of Companies chairperson Manny Pangilinan says some residents in Siargao are suffering from diarrhea following the onslaught of Typhoon Odette. Pangilinan said the Makati Medical Center has sent a team of doctors to Siargao to check on the situation. He also said that the MVP Group of Companies is in the process of purchasing additional satellite phones to be deployed in typhoon-struck areas by year-end.
In the aftermath of Odette, we had a huge demand for sat phones, including government officials. So we've run out of sat phones. So we've ordered 400 more for deployment by December 29.
Urban planner and landscape architect Paulo Alcazaren says it could take 3 to 4 years for provinces affected by Typhoon Odette to fully recover. Speaking on One News' The Chiefs, Alcazaren explains that this could take this long because the country is still reeling from the effects of the pandemic. Alcazaren also notes that some of the areas battered by Odette, like Siargao and Palawan, are tourism-based, which means they don't have any other resources that can quickly boost their recovery. The expert also said that these areas must take lessons from past calamities and plan and rebuild better structures through proper construction, engineering, and design.
But the thing is, We were in Ground Zero in Yolanda. We met every night to talk amongst each other, and most of our proposals were roughly the same, as to build back better, to establish the easements, to not build where you shouldn't build, to replan and plan better, and then build better.
Yeah,
but going by what we've seen in the last 70 years, nobody has learned that lesson.
The Alagang Kapatid Foundation says they continue to experience major difficulties in transporting relief goods from Metro Manila to areas in Mindanao affected by Odette. Executive Director Menchi Silvestre explains that operations in ports remain suspended due to the damage caused by the typhoon. Silvestre tells One News' The Big Story that this is the reason why they prefer cash donations over in-kind donations from the NCR. She says cash donations allow them to purchase goods locally and immediately bring these to affected communities.
Dahil nga inunahan na natin na napakahirap i-move ng ating mga relief goods kung nandito siya manggagaling sa Metro Manila. Kaya po kami ay naglalambing. Sabi nga namin, we would really prefer cash so we can purchase locally. And what do we mean by purchase locally? It doesn't exactly mean na doon sa area devastated ay doon tayo mamimili. Siyempre, doon tayo mamimili sa mga katabi, mga kapitbahay na munisipalidad na merong supply.
Just a few hours before the first Christmas, with relatively light restrictions since the pandemic started, people are flocking to Divisoria to buy goods at a cheaper price. To give us more details, we have Greg Gregorio now reporting to us live from Manila. Greg, good morning. Could you tell us just how big this crowd is there now in Divisoria?
Good morning, Charles. A Christmas rush is really evident here in Divisoria, particularly along Elias Street, where, according to the police, they already have a crowd estimate of around 3,000 at 10 in the morning. And we were able to talk to some of the individuals who went here, and they said they just went here today because some had their Christmas bonus last night, and the others only had a free time today. According to the police, they are also expecting more individuals to come over later this afternoon. Charles?
We are looking at said large crowd behind you, Greg. Are minimum health protocols at least being implemented by authorities? Are they trying to ensure that shoppers are safe?
Charles, from what we are seeing, though people are wearing their face masks, it is really quite hard for them to adhere to the 1 meter physical distancing, because as you can see, they're applying along Elias Street, shoulders to shoulders. But authorities keep on reminding people from time to time to properly use their mask, as well as adhere to physical distancing, and they're also being reminded to really take care of their valuables as they are indeed passing through a large group of individuals. Charles?
Yeah, what about the number of vendors, Greg? What's that number looking like now? Are there still a lot of vendors despite this? And what are some of the goods that are currently available?
Well, Charles, we're seeing if according to my estimate, we're seeing quite a number of vendors. I think there are more than 100 vendors just here along Elias Street, and available or sold here are shirts, shorts, pants, undergarments for adults ranging from 20 pesos to about a little over 100, and then for kids also, which costs as low as 20 pesos. Available also here are bags for ladies, which costs around 75 pesos per piece, and there are also bed sheets and pillowcases ranging from 45 pesos to 100, depending on the sizes and the quantity that an individual would be buying. Charles?
Yeah, Greg, the clock is ticking. We are approaching New Year's Eve. Until what time will these vendors be accepting shoppers?
Well, Charles, we've talked to some of the vendors, and according to them, their shops will be open until 8 in the evening for those who would be doing last-minute shopping. Charles?
Thanks for that, Greg. That was Greg Gregorio reporting to us live from Manila. And those are the top stories at this hour. Join us again later at 2 p.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Just register for a free account at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.